In the bustling city of Chicago, Sarah, a 30-year-old marketing professional, had just moved into a sleek new apartment downtown. The apartment was everything she could have hoped for: modern, spacious, with a perfect view of the skyline. But after a few nights, she noticed something odd. Every night at exactly midnight, the landline phone, something she never used, would ring. It was an old feature of the apartment that she had left hooked up out of curiosity. At first, she thought it was a prank, an old number still circulating in some directory. But when she picked up the receiver, there was nothing but silence. The calls continued every night, exactly at midnight. No caller ID, no sound on the other end. One night, determined to put an end to it, Sarah answered, saying nothing, only to hear a faint whisper. It was too quiet to make out the words, but the voice was unmistakably human, soft, eerie, and distant. She slammed the phone down, heart racing, and called the phone company the next day. But they assured her that no calls had been made to her number during the time she reported. The next night, the call came again. This time, she didn't answer, but then the whispering started from inside the apartment. She could hear it clearly, soft and muffled, as if it were coming from the walls. She searched every corner of the apartment, but found nothing. No hidden speakers, no signs of intrusion. Increasingly disturbed, she asked her neighbors if they had experienced anything strange. Most dismissed her concerns, except for one elderly woman who had lived in the building for decades. She told Sarah a chilling tale. Years ago, a woman had lived in Sarah's apartment, and she too had complained about strange calls. The woman eventually disappeared, her phone left off the hook, and no one had heard from her again. That night, Sarah stayed awake listening. The phone rang at midnight as usual, and then the whispers began again. But this time, they were louder, closer. Terrified, she packed her bags and fled the apartment. She never returned. A few weeks later, the landlord called to inform her that the apartment had been rented again. And just like that, the calls stopped, for Sarah at least. But the new tenant would soon experience the same midnight terror.